Hi everyone, and thank you for purchasing the Wavy Text Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use it. This section features adding a text to your store with a wave effect. This can be added as a separate section or to be used on top of another section like it is right now. Let's customize this section. First, we have the wave text. Let's say I'm going to talk about a skincare product, so I can put something like unlock your best skin ever. Here we have the character between text. Right now you don't see it because we only have one repetition of the text, but once you add more than one in here, is this little character. Right now I have icon on my clipboard, so I'm gonna paste it here. And then this duplicates. You can add up to 30, but you can also use it instead of calculating how much do you need, you just click in here if you want to fill the whole wave with the text. Okay, but for now I'm gonna just use duplicates because I want to use only 4. And then we have here the spaces between text, which is this space right here between each duplicate. You can add way more space, so it will look like this. But for now I'm gonna leave it a little closer. Okay, down here we have the wave angle, which is like the curve of the wave. So the higher the number, the more drastic is that change, okay? So for example, if I make this less, the curve gets more straight, okay? So if I put it on the minimum in here, it's just a subtle curve, okay? And if you put it on 100, then it's more drastic, that movement of the wave. Okay, but let's say we want it around here on the middle. That looks nice for me, so I'm gonna leave it there. And the wave frequency is how close is each curve of that wave. For example, if I put it very high, you barely see repetitions of that wave, okay? Because it's the distance between one and another wave. And if I make it smaller number, you'll see the wave repeats because this distance is less. So if I make it like this, you'll create that effect like a telephone line. But at this moment, I'm gonna leave it, let's see, around here. This can be a little less. Cool. Then in here we have the same settings for mobile, and then we have the animation settings. In here we can enable or disable that animation. For example, if I click it like this, it will look just like a banner on top or as a separate section. We're gonna go to that setting in a minute, but this will enable that animation. Then in here you can select which element to animate. Right now it's text, that's the default, but you can also animate both the text and the wave, so it will create this effect. Right now I'm gonna leave it with text only because I really like it. And then we have the animation direction. Right now it's right to left, but you can also put it left to right. Down here we have the animate with scroll option, and this will override any animation option from here. Okay, let me show you what it does. When enabled, the text will move as you scroll up or you scroll down. Right now, I really like the animation effect, so I'm gonna leave it disabled. Then down here we have the animation speed, and if you make it less, it will go very slow. That's a good speed for now. Then down here we have the wave color, and then we have the wave width. You can make this way bolder like this. And then down here we have the text styling. And then you have the styling options. You can use custom fonts. Maybe this one because I'm using it up here, that same font. Okay. And then we have the font size, the letter spacing, okay? Then the letter spacing is the distance between the characters on the font. If you leave it at 0, it will be the default on your theme. So that looks fine for me. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, down here we have the wave distance from the wave edge. Right now that 18 is around the middle of the wave, but if you make it less, then the text will go higher. If you make it not a negative number, it will go lower on the wave. But I'm gonna leave it around there because I want the text to flow around the middle of the wave. And then down here we have the section styling. On the section styling right now, by default, this section is being used as absolute. That's why this section is on top of another. But you can use this section as relative. And let's say if we move it on top of the other one, it will be its own section, okay? And then when using that relative position like that, you can select a background color. This background color only works when it's on relative position, because on absolute maybe that color is too much, so we decided to be used only on relative. For this example, I want this wave to be absolute because I want to create an effect between these two sections. Now, how do we put this in between the two sections? We can adjust here the vertical position. So right now it's a 30% up, so you can adjust it maybe to be less in here. When using up, it will go upwards, and when using down, it will go this way, okay? But maybe on up, like it is right now, it creates the effect that I was looking for. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, down here we have some styling options, but because we're using this section as absolute, this styling option don't apply. But if you would use it as relative, you can control here the margin, the top and bottom, the padding of the section, which is the space inside of it. But I'm gonna keep it on absolute, but please keep in mind that this won't work if you're using the section as absolute. Down here we have the C index option for the wave. This is useful when you're using the wave as absolute, like we're doing right now. But for example, let's say the wave on your store is overlapping an element that you don't want it to be on top of it. For example, if you have a fixed header and the wave is being on top of the header and you don't want to be on top of the header, you can add a custom value for that C index. So for example, if the C index of your header is 10, you can use then maybe a 9. So it's a less number, so will be behind that other element. And that's it. Thank you again. And if you have any questions or if you run into any issues, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via the support page on our website. Thank you and take care.